Good evening. Can Mike hear us? I'm trying to test the mics to make sure we can test the what?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So it's 7 o'clock. I'm sorry, it's 7:01. I'm going to call this special meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. First item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would recognize the Deputy First Selectman.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All members are here in presence. The next item of business is the approval of the meeting minutes from the November 4th, 2021 special meeting.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of November 4th, 2021 Board of Selectmen regular
Special.
Board of Selectmen special meeting minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion or corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? November 4th, 2021 Board of Selectmen regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve the Board of Selectmen regular meeting minutes from November 4th, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
Made and seconded. Any discussion or corrections? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Minutes are adopted. Public participation. This is one of the public's two opportunities to address members of the board. I'm going to start by asking if there's anybody here present who would like to address the Board of Selectmen, and then I'll turn to anybody who's joined us online. Is there anybody here in the room who would like to address the board?
We're just happy to be here.
Yeah, and thank you for all that you guys do.
Good to see you guys. Is there anyone online who would like to address the Board of Selectmen? Seeing none, there will be another opportunity later on. I have no communications to board commissions, resignations, and appointments, reappointments. Michael Kowalski, who might be Mike K, is up for reappointment as a Planning and Zoning Commission regular member for a term expiring December 1st, 2025. Is there a motion?
I'll move to reappoint Michael Kowalski for a regular member of the Planning and Zoning Commission for a term expiring December 1st, 2025.
Second.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Kowalski is reappointed. We have a new appointment. Bernard Duffy, formerly of the East Windsor Police Department, is interested in membership on the East Windsor Arts and Culture Commission and is asking for a regular member term to expire April 21st, 2023.
I'll move to appoint Bernard Duffy to the East Windsor Arts and Culture Commission as a regular member for a term expiring April 21st, 2023.
Made and seconded. Any discussion?
Sure.
Sarah.
I'd like to add that he was at the first meeting this Monday. Sorry, my days are all mixed up. But he did add some valuable discussion, so I think he'll be a great addition to the commission.
Other comments?
Yeah, I know we had some pieces at I think he's a good fit for the group.
He's put some great stuff on social media. Seeing no further comment, all in favor of the appointment, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Was it captain? Was he a captain or was it chief?
Was chief?
He was?
No. Well, I think he got it.
But he was,
Yeah, he was there.
well, he was also, you're right, very good. Yeah, he's honest.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to have him back in a different capacity. So on to the update on the disposition of the South and Phelps Road properties. The Zoning Board of Appeals approved the town's request for variances on those parcels at their meeting last Wednesday. No, Wednesday before last. So the next step is that the subdivision application with a final site plan will be submitted to the Planning and Zoning Commission for an 824 referral. No, that's not right yet. This subdivision application with the final site plan will be submitted to the Planning and Zoning Commission for their meeting next Tuesday. So that's actually moving along at a deliberate pace now. Once that gets through PZC, if it gets through PZC, then a legal notice will be placed in the newspaper. A new subdivision map will be filed in the town clerk's office. Variance certificates would be attached to each of the new properties. And this board would have to make a referral for an 824 referral to the Planning and Zoning Commission because it has to do with the disposition of land. At which point we would be free and clear to convey the property. So a very ambitious target for this would be to wrap this up by the end of the calendar year. I think it's more likely to spill into January, but the goal that we're working towards is the end of this year. Any questions or comments on that? So far, so good. So far, so good. And it's being done the right way, which should protect them long term. Okay, so that's that. Next up is the establishment of our 2022 regular meeting dates. There are dates proposed that were included in your packet. They represent the status quo in terms of the first and third Thursdays. Does anybody have any objection to those meetings as presented?
Make a motion that we accept the Board of Selectmen meeting dates for 2022.
Second.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So the next item, the discussion and execution of the release and termination of the hold harmless agreement pertains to the parcel currently occupied by Charbonneau's that is going to be part of Gravel Pit Solar. There is an existing hold harmless protecting the town on that property that needs to be released before Gravel Pit Solar can secure the financing for that. So I had a conversation today with Lee Hoffman, who you'll recall we waived in on this so that he actually is representing both us and Gravel Pit. And I asked if I asked you guys tonight to approve this and the deal fell through, are we exposing the town to some sort of jeopardy because we've now taken away that hold harmless against Charbonneau? And he said, no, we would not be doing that for a couple of reasons. One, the hold harmless wouldn't preclude us from seeking remedy for some other violation, even without it in place. We could still do that. Secondly, his suggestion was that the Board of Selectmen authorize me, but not direct me, to sign the release of the hold harmless. At which point I'll have the authorization to sign it when they get to the point of closing, and can leave it in the hands of Pullman and Conlon to hold in escrow to be filed on the land records only if the deal goes through. So if something should happen and that doesn't materialize, the town is in no worse position for doing that. I thought that was a pretty safe pathway. Any questions or comments on this? Okay. There is a prepared motion that Attorney Hoffman drafted for us, and the supporting document is attached.
The motion of the Board of Selectmen grant the first selectman authority to execute the release and termination of the hold harmless agreement found on page 745 of volume 160 of the Town of East Windsor's land records.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? So just for the sake of the record, this is an authorization to sign it, not a directive to sign it. So I will execute that with the acquiescence of this board in the instance that it becomes the next piece in terms of moving that project forward. Everybody's on the same page?
Yep. Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I don't know if you have that or not.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask that we postpone agenda item 9C until after executive session.
To postpone agenda item 9C until after executive session.
Second. Made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tax refunds.
Move to approve the tax refunds totaling $11,596.69.
Second.
Made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
She said 9,000?
11,000.
Oh, 11,596. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Selectmen's reports. I have a brief one. First, I want to offer my congratulations and best wishes to those people, including the four of you who were sworn into office this evening. If I or my staff can be of any assistance, please consider us a resource in helping you as we move forward into the new term. On November 6th, it was my pleasure to participate in the Veterans Day ceremony here in town. The commission did a fantastic job putting together the day's events, from a nice speaking ceremony to a very well-attended road race. Thank you to all those who have served. On Veterans Day proper, last Thursday, I was also delighted to attend a Veterans Day ceremony at Fresh River Rehabilitation Facility. It was very thoughtful of them, I thought, to hold a breakfast to commemorate their residents who are also veterans. And it was the highlight of my day to be able to attend and commemorate their service. Over the last few weeks, I've continued my practice of reaching out to businesses and nonprofits in our community. Since our last meeting, I've had the opportunity to visit 8 such businesses. This affords me the opportunity to hear from them directly about anything the town can be doing to be more supportive of their needs. On my visit to one of them, Lingering Hills Stable, I learned that they started in their current form about 2 years ago, and they're a multi-generational small family business that train horses for competitive shows and offer riding lessons to more than 50 families. While I was there, and this is the part that I want to share with you guys, while I was there, a truck pulled up, driven by the proprietor's father, and he was hauling a trailer, and he was delivering heating units that are going to be installed in their indoor riding area that will allow lessons to be held there all year long. Those 2 heating units were paid for with the erase grant. So while I was there, I had the good fortune of actually witnessing the product of that come a long way, and I think that really shows in part the benefit to the community that program served. Speaking of the erase grant, several towns have expressed interest in emulating the success that we had here in East Windsor through that program, and we've reached out to them, or they've reached out to us, and I continue to be more than happy to share our experience with them. On November 10th, I joined State Representative Jamie Foster for a visit with seniors at the East Windsor Senior Center. Representative Foster provided an overview of recent legislative action that will improve the lives of seniors in our state, and some of the attendees there had some excellent questions and comments to share with her as well. That same night, the first public listening session for the Town Parks Master Plan was held. About 35 people attended and offered good insight into improvements that they'd like to see in each of our town's parks. And that is my report. Great.
I have nothing to report. The meeting on the new criteria starts tomorrow evening. So I'm looking forward to remaining on that floor.
Thank you. Charlie.
Okay, so on November 6th, I too participated in the East Windsor Veterans Commission Veterans Day ceremony and road race. Although I didn't beat my high school time, I still finished without dying. So I was happy about that. On 11/8, I attended my first zoning board of appeals meeting as their new liaison. Like Jason mentioned earlier, special variances were approved for the 16 properties on South and Phelps Road, another step towards residents being able to take ownership of the land their property sits on that was previously owned by the town. Also in that meeting, a possible variance was discussed for the property of 18 Jesse Lane. It seemed there was a lot of discussion and confusion over where buffer measurements should be taken, whether they should be taken from the corner of the house to the curb, or the utility line, or the right-of-way line, and does that line change if an in lieu of fee is paid to forego the installation of sidewalks? They spent a lot of time debating this, trying to figure out which way it's supposed to be and whether this house is going to even need a special variance to correct this or not. So they're still working on that, and it may be that zoning has to get involved with making that clarification. On November 11th, I attended the PTO meeting. PTO was a $10,000 recipient of the town's COVID-19 erase grant. First Selectman Jason Balazar was also in attendance to congratulate the PTO and to give feedback on ways the town could help the PTO in their efforts. The PTO currently has around 60 registered members, about half of which are teachers. PTO is always looking for members, volunteers, and fundraising ideas to keep things rolling. PTO had participated in the Parks and Recs Haunted Highway on October 28th and said they had a great time doing that. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Oh.
Hey, I also participated in the Veterans 5K, and I just want to say I beat Charlie by a long, long time. I'm sorry, Charlie. I couldn't use this. What else did I do?
That's all I'm focused on.
Yeah, so planning and zoning had a very light agenda, but I didn't even make it to there because I had a competing meeting. First Selectman and I met with the Broadbrook Fire Department Board of Directors to discuss to negotiate the last little bits of the memorandum of understanding between the town and the fire department. That went well. And then I went to, on Monday, the Broadbrook Fire Department Commissioners meeting. They had a pretty light meeting, but they did discuss they are still ironing out exactly what they're going to charge for fire marshal fees, but they are going to charge some, and so they're just working out how that is, and that's going to be much smaller than what Warehouse Point does, but they'll look at it again next year after they've run it for a while. So eventually that'll be coming to us for an ordinance. So I think they got another meeting or so before they're ready. They started talking about doing their budget and set a budget workshop for January. And they also decided that they would add a Zoom component to their meetings. So, and they got all that done in 25 minutes. It was an excellent meeting.
We're gonna be close.
Tonight, it was a special meeting for the pension board. We approved the agreement that we approved previously, the Board of Selectmen approved for David McNeese in town. That's it. That's all I got for it.
Thank you, sir. Sarah.
Okay, on November 6th, I also ran in the Veterans Day 5K road race. I would like to echo the First Selectmen's compliment to the Veterans Commission on their organization and great work in putting on the event. Everything ran smoothly and there was an excellent turnout, 252 runners, which is a record, and a great number of spectators and supporters cheering on the participants. Congratulations on a successful event. On November 9th, the Arts and Culture Commission held their first meeting. The commission selected Debbie Williams as their chairman and Christina Pozniak as vice chairman. All members shared their interests and expressed some areas that they'd like to see accomplished, such as collaboration with other boards and entities to bring arts to events in town, like the American Heritage River Commission and the New Year's Day Hike, or the Historical Society and the Ice Cream Social. The group also discussed the possibility of hosting art shows or craft fairs to promote tourism or art installations across town. There was discussion of hoping to incorporate murals in town. Matt Conway from Rise Up for Arts addressed the commission to discuss the Connecticut mural projects and what some possibilities are for our community based on what other towns have done. The commission is holding a logo design contest for their committee. The contest is open to any East Windsor resident 10 years of age and up, and the criteria is must be original, 2D, easy to reproduce, and must have the name or in the logo. And those can be submitted with your name and phone number to ewartsandculture@gmail.com prior to January 31st. I also attended the master plan park study previously referenced, but exited early to attend the Board of Education meeting. Outstanding Student Award recipients and Crystal Apple Award recipients were recognized. Middle school principal Timothy Field gave a school report to the board focusing on student empowerment and how to become a better leader. He also discussed the team building exercises that staff participated in on their recent professional development day. Assistant Superintendent Daryl Rouliard discussed NEAS, which is New England Association of Schools and Colleges, and the value of our school district having this accreditation and the timeline going forward to make sure that we maintain it. Parent-teacher conferences are scheduled for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week and are occurring both virtually or in person. And according to data that the school district has received as of this meeting, about 90% of school staff has been fully vaccinated and approximately 20% of eligible students have been vaccinated. That's all I have.
Thank you.
My granddaughters, all three got their first vaccination last night at the school.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Any effects?
No, they were good.
That's good to hear.
We didn't tell them there was possibility of effects that they might have to stay home because we figured that would make it 100% that they have.
So we're going to move on to public participation. The public second opportunity to address members of the board. Same process as before. I'll first turn to members of the audience, and then I'll ask if there's anybody online who would like to address the board. Is there anybody here present who would like to address the board of selectmen?
I will.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Name and address, please.
Yeah, Ruth Ann Lansner, 27 Laurel Circle. I just commend everybody that's the selectmen and everybody who's on all the boards and commissions, because I never realized how many there were, and the incredible amount of work that these people do to keep our town running and up to snuff and moving forward into the future. So, and that's it. Just thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anybody online who would like to address the Board of Selectmen? If so, please unmute yourself, identify yourself by name and address. Tom, do you have any public participation?
One more question.
Go right ahead.
Just in time.
Just in time.
Time is everything.
Name and address, please, sir.
Just in reference to the turn lane at Cumberland Farms and Funky, wouldn't have anything to do with the state removing those turn arrows, did you?
I'd love to tell you I did, but I did not. I have a different DOT issue going at the moment, but not that one.
Someone else must have realized they kind of.
It was a temporary thing that they removed on their own.
Very good. That's too bad you didn't credit for it.
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't have anything to do with that one.
I drove through there this morning and saw it. Look at that. It disappeared. Yeah. Very good.
Any other comments from members of the public, both here in the room or online?
Could I just take Tom Buckley?
Tom Buckley, Kings Court. What's your address?
Kings Court. Okay, Buckley, Kings Court.
We will have an executive session. There is likely to be a vote afterwards, Peg, so I'll get the recording up at some point tomorrow, or actually being tomorrow is Wednesday, you can come find me.
Okay.
So could I have a motion to go into executive session, please?
We go into executive session.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are in executive session at 7:25 p.m. An application that was submitted in hard copy form and misfiled. It was accepted or received by the town on August 2nd, 2021 from Shinosky LLC. I'd ask for a motion from the board.
I make a motion to accept for consideration application for the Erase COVID-19 grant received by Shinosky LLC on August 2nd, 2021.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. If there's no further business to come before the Board of Selectmen, the motion to adjourn would be in order.
Move we adjourn at 7:41 p.m.
And I'll second that.
Made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 7:41 p.m.